What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Chinnist. Today is October 3rd, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 29 with 25 different titles. Quick update for next week, I will not be in town. I will actually be over in Denver, Colorado. For those of y'all in the area, please let me know, comment down below. Starting off on the DC side, they released a few of the foil cover. I think maybe 3 or 4 of them this week. I think it's over the next 3 or 4 weeks. So started off with the Batman number 56. I'm reading this one actually in trade, so I did not read through this issue. Thought this one was pretty awesome. Green Lanterns number 56. Same thing, I'm reading this one in trade. Adventures of Super Sons. So I've said before in the past, man, really love the dynamics between Damian and Jonathan Kent, man. Really enjoy those characters. So this one continues the storyline with the, what was it, the Justice League or the Junior League of Doom, I think is what they were called. But yeah, great action, great humor, dialogue along the way. Really geared towards teens, but anyone, all ages would actually enjoy this one, in my opinion. So yeah, really enjoy this one. Jonathan Kent kind of split up between a red and blue Superman. Pretty funny, the dialogue between the two of those characters themselves. So yeah, Adventures of Super Sons. Justice League number 9. So I said before, a lot of comparisons to the Avengers. Both of them have a real big epic feel to it. Man, Justice League is in the lead, in my opinion. So yeah, Scott Snyder doing an excellent job storytelling, in my opinion. So, right amount of action. This one had a lot of exposition, a lot of dialogue, letting you know what's really going on in the background, in between the fighting, the concerns of the various teammates, how, I like how they kind of went through each of their bases, how the teammates kind of live when they're not fighting together as a team. But yeah, a lot of exposition, but done really well, in my opinion, through both the artwork and the dialogue. So yeah, really enjoy Justice League. I think they're going to get into that drowned earth here pretty soon. So yeah, Justice League number 9. All right, so this was a new one, and this kind of led off from that last Justice League Dark number 3, I think, the one that came out last week, where Wonder Woman got her new powers. So this one leads right into that one, Justice League Dark Witching Hour number 1. I was able to pick up 2 of the cover Bs, and these were pretty hot. So yeah, definitely grab these if you could find them. And great artwork. Keep one, put the other one in my speculation box. So yeah, this storyline overall, at first I was not into Magic, was not really into the Justice League Dark side of things. I was really going to spec on it just due to the Upside Down Man. But man, really fell in love with the storyline along the way. Wonder Woman, they kind of gave her like a little bit of a retcon to where, she kind of grew up with these witches, and they kind of put like, let's say that they put magic into her, put that spark. The Upside Down Man kind of released Wonder Woman's power. So here it is here. She kind of forced Upside Down Man back into his own universe, his own realm, in that number 3. So this one really picks up, where we left off. Great storyline so far, in my opinion. Again, was never really into the magic side of things, but man, this one kind of did it for me. So yeah, The Witching Hour. Picked up, moving on to Marvel, picked up a variant incentive. This was by Stephanie Hans. This was Asguardians of the Galaxy, number 2. So this one was going for like $25 posted on Midtown. So yeah, happy to pick this one up for cover price. Another cover grab for me. This was Deadpool number 5. Not reading through Deadpool. This is a straight up cover grab for me. Grew up with Garbage Pail Kids. Man, I was a little kid when that came out. I collected series numbers 1, 2, and 3 like in its entirety. Man, love that stuff back in the day. So yeah, when I saw this one, had to pick it up. After I left, man, I found out that this was pretty hot. This one sold out as well. So I called back the LCS. I just left like 2 minutes after I left and asked them to put 2 more copies in my pull box. So I have 2 more of these coming in my for next week, or I guess week after next when I come back to Houston. All right, so this one's pretty cool. This was one of the Battle Lines variant. This was the Doctor Strange number 6. And I really wanted that Ghost Rider, man. I really wanted that. The second LCS had 1 copy. The guy to my right grabbed that one like right before I could grab it, man. I was so disappointed. But yeah, I thought that cover was pretty cool. Star Wars. So this is number 55. Ever since they left Mon Calamari, or Mon Calamari, or Mon Cala, man, went out into space, man, great storyline so far, man. It's kind of like this, you know, this slow chase. You know, they're just feeding the rebels their fleet in its entirety, man. Just like picking them off, and they have been over like the past like 5 issues or so. Man, great stuff, dude. There was like a space heist, a space race, man. Everything was all in this one storyline, man. Huge, epic storyline, man. Really enjoy it. So yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, I highly suggest for y'all to pick up the trades and try those out. So yeah, Star Wars number 55. Weapon H. So Weapon H, the storyline has been okay, you know, so far a little bit low past couple issues. Man, this one really picked up. They also changed the artist, and that last artist was just, man, horrible. I just did not enjoy it whatsoever. This one far better. I would give this artist maybe like a 3.5 out of 5 in my opinion. But yeah, storyline really picked up. Dialogue is there. A little bit of humor kind of sprinkled throughout. A little bit of sarcasm kind of sprinkled throughout as well, which I always enjoy. So yeah, a little bit more background of Clay, you know, and his previous ex-wife, I guess. But yeah, pretty cool character development here. So yeah, difference between Damage and Weapon H, in my opinion, was all in the character development. Man. You actually feel for Clay, you know, Damage, not so much. So yeah, Weapon H number 8. Champions number 25. So I grew up with Dungeons and Dragons, you know, love anything, you know, Middle Earth related. This one kind of had that feel to it, so they kind of transported the entire team, the new team here, kind of transported in a sense to another universe, to where they've all been recreated in a like a Lord of the Rings, Dungeons and Dragons, you know, costumes, the way that they talk, their powers have changed. So yeah, pretty cool, like Elseworld, like Exiles, like What If type of storyline here. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Champions number 25. Weapon X is number 24. So Old Man Logan's completely gone from the team at this point in time. Straight up Sabretooth. Great, you know, slash 'em up type of action always happening here. So the team was actually imprisoned by, what was his name? Strife, I think was his name. Not Strife. Can't think of his name. Man, it'll come to me. But yeah, imprisoned, forced to fight each other like gladiators. So yeah, storyline always good. Humor kind of sprinkled throughout, especially with Deadpool as part of the team here, and Domino in the background. So yeah, Weapon X. Sleepwalker number 1. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 issues of Sleepwalker. So grew up with Sleepwalker, you know, that's right about the time when I got out. I think Sleepwalker had already been canceled. I think I kind of got out of comics like right after that. So one of those last characters that I kind of remembered, you know, in my older days of collecting. Kind of hard for me to remember, you know, I remember all the covers, kind of going through all the issues, kind of rebagging things, you know, a couple years back, but did not really remember the storyline too much. You know, the character himself, this brought it all back just in the first few issues or first few pages here, to kind of bring back some of those older memories. And there was a little, I remember a couple of the images that they kind of showed, yeah, right here. I remember this in some of the older issues that I read through back in the mid-90s when Sleepwalker originally came out. So yeah, very, very nostalgic. You know, I think, you know, the way the storyline is, he's going to be kind of a pivotal character in this Infinity Wars, you know, more so than the other amalgam type of characters. So if you're into the Infinity Wars, those other one-offs, not very much storyline there. This one's going to be a better tie-in if you're into the overall Infinity War type storyline. So yeah, Sleepwalker number 1. XMen Black. J. Scott Campbell cover. Man, I thought of the 4 covers that he did for the XMen Black series, I thought this was the best, the Magneto cover. So this one kicked it off. Each of these is kind of like a little one-shot of the villains that they kind of spotlight here. Artwork on the interior, even though it's J. Scott Campbell on the exterior, artwork on the interior here, not so good. You know, I would give this one maybe just like a 2.25, 2.5, if that. Storyline was okay. If you're a Magneto fan, it's okay, but very, very passable. You know, in my opinion, this is more of a cover grab from the J. Scott Campbell side of things more than the storyline itself. You know, if you're a true Magneto fan, pick it up, but I'd say this is more of a cover grab. So yeah, X-Men Black #1. Cosmic Ghost Rider by Donny Cates. Of course, Donny Cates is freaking on fire, man. Anything he touches turns to gold. Humor in this one is excellent. So, of course, the Ghost Rider took baby Thanos in order to try to raise him to not be a killer. But his plan has completely backfired. You have a future version of himself, just like in the Thanos last title. He's come back to the past. He grabbed Ghost Rider and the baby, brought him to his future. You find out that he is not a good guy at all. And pretty good battle that won't give away too much, but things do not turn out as what the Ghost Rider originally envisioned. Things are, you know, kind of going to crap. So yeah, cool stuff, man. Really enjoyed Donny Cates. Great storyline. Cosmic Ghost Rider #4. Moving on to Image, a couple more cover grabs here. This was the Matina pencils, I'm sorry, ink only, #290. Picked up 2 copies of the textless Die Die Die. Really enjoyed this title so far. You know, I love the gore, the adult action that's in there. A lot of sexual type of things kind of going on in the background and the foreground at times. So yeah, very, very much for the mature readers, you know, by far. So I picked up textless all the way through. I think I'm going to try to pick up textless 1 through 6. You know, I'm not sure how far the series is actually going to go, but try to pick up a few textless all the way through. Try to sell it as a set later on. So yeah, love the dialogue. The exposition here is phenomenal in my opinion. So even though there's a lot of dialogue, man, great storyline that's kind of built in there. When we get to the action side of things, man, great artwork to go along with this type of gritty type of storyline. So it is, you know, more of a, you know, like a Jason Bourne, you know, secret agent type of storyline, but very gritty at the same time, in my opinion. So yeah, love it. Die, Die, Die. Check it out. Got a #1 from Image, Errand Boys. So this one was pretty cool. When I read the premise over in the previews, I actually subscribed to this one. So you have a Han Solo-esque type of main hero. So very, very similar to the Star Wars universe, in my opinion, just like a little bit more humor kind of thrown into it, in my opinion. So, you know, he dresses just like Han Solo, you know, very, very similar to Han Solo, like all the way through. So come to find out, I think he was part alien, and he has, what he come to find was a stepbrother. His both his parents passed away somehow. I forgot how they died, but our main hero is faced with a decision to put his stepbrother into protective care, foster home, or try to take him on himself. So he takes the harder decision to take on his stepbrother, which he never knew existed, and try to show him the ropes of his trade, of what he does. So pretty cool, you know, like that concept, that mentoring concept. That you have that, you know, again, the Han Solo type of guy, you know, going the good path, I'm sure, you know, towards the end. So yeah, enjoy this one so far. Errand Boys. Dead Rabbit #1. So was not expecting too much out of this one. So you had a previous robber, and you know, in his younger years, he used to be one of the bigger, well-known, publicized, you know, large dollar bank robber, heist type of person. Always a solo type guy. He never got caught. He always evaded the cops. But a little bit older now, and he has a wife who is, I forgot how, I think she had a stroke, or she had a seizure which caused a stroke, I believe. But he's caring for her at this point in time. You know, money's always an issue, and he's kind of always thinking about putting the mask back on for like another heist. So he kind of gets in a situation. I won't go through how he gets in a situation, but the mask gets put back on, and he gets into a little bit of a mob type of battle. So yeah, pretty cool storyline if you're into you know, the no power superhero mob type of scene. Dead Rabbit #1. Not enough for me to pick up a #2, to tell you the truth, but if you're into that, I thought this was well done. Magic Order number 4. So again, this was one of those Netflix series that's been greenlighted. They are actually starting out with this one right here in the Mark Millar world. So man, great start in my opinion. Really love the storyline. So this is like straight up like Harry Potter, like an adult version of Harry Potter, like on steroids. Man, this was great stuff. A lot of adult type of situations going on. You know, some sexual things in the background, but this one you got into like a little bit of a battle. You kind of get to see like their powers, like what they could really do. You know, they shown like some things, you know, some of the elders who got assassinated. You know, you got to see some of the magic that was used to assassinate them. But here a little bit more of a fight scene, you know, against this one monster here. Very cool, man. Really enjoyed it. So I'm really looking forward to watching the TV series whenever it actually does come out. So yeah, Magic Order number 4. Jue Joint. So this one here by Image is probably my number 1 read of the week. So I did not subscribe to this one. I remember looking at it in previews. It didn't really interest me too much. I saw there's like a few, and there's a lot of adult situations here, like a lot of sexual things. So sorry if I flip through it, I'll flip through it as quickly as I can. But a lot of sexual type of storyline here, definitely for mature readers. So you have, you know, it's back in the speakeasy type of days. You have a brothel here. Maybe they do other things as well, but the women run it. You have this mama who runs it, like a mama-san, and she definitely, I thought that she was a vampire at first, but some sort of monster, and she's like part of this little cult, which she's like the matriarch of. So not vampires, but they definitely eat human men, and I guess they target men for some reason. Maybe things that happened to them in their past, because it looks like they tried to, a couple nude scenes there, it looks like they tried to recruit some other women. Sorry, there's a lot of risque stuff kind of going on here. Yeah, this woman here. So they knew there's a lot of supernatural things kind of going on. So definitely like a revenge type of storyline, you know, high feminist type of powers. So yeah, really enjoy this one. I'm definitely going to be subscribing number 2 on. So yeah, Jue Joint, you know, a lot of adult situations here, but I would highly suggest to pick this one up and read through it. One from Albatross, we have Spook House 2. This was pretty much all by Eric Powell. He did the first volume, and then he started getting other writers and artists involved. So this is really geared towards like all ages type of storyline. So imagine like Tales from the Crypt, a couple short stories involved here, really gearing towards teenagers or younger kids. Very reminiscent of like Mad Magazine, you know, from what I remember, you know, Mad Magazine to be. So yeah, enjoy it, you know, still enjoyable for the adults. Really enjoy Eric Powell. So he did do a couple of the art for some of the storylines here. I mean, you could really see the Eric Powell artwork versus some of the other artists in here. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Spook House number 2. Got a few from Aftershock. So Walk Through Hell number 5 by Garth Ennis. Man, love this storyline. Very spooky. Man, they really need to make this one into a great movie. Man, I hope it's done well. So you get into this warehouse, you know, there's a question if it's hell itself, is it limbo? Things are going on, things from the past, like skeletons from the past are definitely coming to the forefront. A lot of creepy things kind of just going on. People are dying and there's no explanation for it. So it's kind of the reader kind of figuring it out with these 2 main characters. Really enjoy it, man. If you're into horror, definitely check this one out, A Walk Through Hell. Lollipop Kids. This was my number 2 read, I think, this week, man. Both of them from little indie guys. So this one here, great artwork to go along with it, you know, to start off. So I would say this artwork itself, maybe like a 4.5, especially to go along with this storyline. So you have this young child, and he is dyslexic. He has some issues. He kind of gets by, but you can tell he's very intelligent. For some reason, you know, he knows he's, you know, different, and you know, besides the dyslexic, he's really intelligent. He kind of knows that he's a little bit different. So come to find out, so he's over in New York City, and there's a lot of him just kind of walking around, and a lot of exposition. So he kind of so that the readers understand what who the character is and what this character has gone through. He lost his mother, kind of like a Batman type of robbery type of scene. You come to find out, and I'll leave it here. this woods, there are monsters in this woods, and I'm sorry, you did get to see like a werewolf here. So this werewolf kind of jumps out of nowhere. He follows this little like riddle that he figures out like in the middle of the park, just like total random riddle that he figured out probably from being so intelligent. Werewolf pops out. You find out that there's like a guild. Each one of these families came from overseas. Overseas, they actually brought their monsters to North America, all to New York, I believe, and they tried to keep all the monsters here in the woods. Each one of the family members was responsible for helping to keep the monsters in check, kind of like guardians or like zookeepers in a sense. So yeah, very cool concept. You know, again, I grew up with a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. You know, I love anything Lord of the Rings related. So yeah, a lot of magic using, you know, a lot of warrior type of stuff. So yeah, definitely enjoyed this one. My number 2 read this week by far. So yeah, Lollipop Kids, Aftershock, this is a number 1. Got one more from IDW, House Amok. So this is number 2. I noticed that this was sold out, and I think it was sold out just because number 1 was hot. It's like one of those number 2s that still sells. So I picked up one just to speculate on that. But love that storyline. You know, I did pick up a number 1. I actually subscribed to it right when I saw it in previews. So very, very creepy, very, very dark. You have these 2 main twin daughters, and I think one of them actually may be a guy, to tell you the truth, just reading through that first issue. But their parents, there's something very, very creepy going on. They're like part of a cult. They kill people, and their parents are trying to teach their kids basically like how to kill. Very, very dark storyline, man. And you don't know the full storyline yet. It's kind of unfolding. You know, you're kind of figuring out why the parents are doing like what they're doing. So very, very dark, man. A lot of killing, a lot of murder, a lot of kids involved along the way. Very cool storyline. Really enjoy it. So yeah, House Amok. Guys, that's going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Again, next week, I'm going to be over in the Denver area. If you're there, please let me know. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.